second Group B race is forming up on the grid here at Brands Hatch. Marcus Bailey is on pole position. We've got 24 cars on the grid in total, so if the other two races are anything to go by, it should be something special. I'll hand you over to our race commentator, Jake Sanson.
Thanks, Anthony. I can't wait for this one. The bottom five from the A group now head the front of the grid. Marcus Bailey, William Hayden, Clive Powles, Bill Taylor and Paul Bateman. They join the rest of the Group B brigade. Adrian Burge in 6 from Matthew Pollard and Anthony Hutchins. Rounding up the top 10, it's Callum Greatrex and Alan Hawkins. Ivan Leary and Bryn Griffiths with Clive Chisnell and Jake Stiles. Richard Wootton and George Grant are on the 8th row of the grid. Then it's Graham Rumsey and Sam Riley, Sam Jarvis and Bruce Robinson, Elliot Han and Richard Bartlett. Fighting their way through from the back will be Nick Riley and Charles Muggleston. We should see a really interesting battle as there are 3 or 4 drivers out of position. The top 5 obviously were in the A group. They're now in the B group. We've got jump starts in the front of the grid. Now that's going to be interesting. If anybody gets picked up for a penalty, we could see some interesting first few laps. But anyway, it looks like it's going to be 4 wide again as the drivers battle their way through to the first corner and splitting them through the middle. Marcus Bailey looks like he's going to get overhauled here as they fly through Paddock Hill Bend. No major dramas. 65 William Hayden getting himself into the mix there at the front. Hard braking into Paddock Hill Bend. Is everybody going to get through? A little bit of a moment for Bill Taylor as he drifts out wide and he's lost about 8 places. But it is a very exciting start to this one. That's the cavalry charging their way down the hill into Paddock Hill Bend, into Graham Hill Bend, sorry, and side by side, that is Matthew Pollard making the move. Sorry, no, that's William Hayden, the very similar car, the 65, making the move on Alan Hawkins. He's through up the inside. It's Pollard behind him. That's why I got confused. Very, very interesting start to the race. No major catastrophes as everybody knits their way through. That's Hutchins battling away with a fast-starting Ivan Leary, who's got himself back up the order. He was the one who got clattered into at the start of race 1, don't forget, when Mugglestone spun it. But now they come down and over the start-finish line again. No need for a safety car. It's a perfectly clean getaway. And out in front, it is already a very close battle. You can see the top 3 starting to break clear. This is the 65. William Hayden leading the charge for second position. This is a very tight battle as the 42 cuts across. Brilliant start to the race there from Paul Bateman as he charges across Clive Powles. No way is Powles going to get through. Hutchins likewise does a similar job on the 55 of Pollard. Ivan Leary trying to dive through on the inside. Can he make the move into Graham Hill Bend? No, there's no point going ugly early. He slots back into position with Adrian Burge just behind him. But out in front, no major problems for the man in the lead of the race. Marcus Bailey, 54, hangs on to the lead, having fought his way up in the first couple of corners instantly. He's now having a bit of a tussle. Great racing in the early stages. But the drivers are battling away for the first, well, for the second time of the season, I was going to say, for the first few laps. It is going to be pretty close. Look how tight they're battling. Adrian Burge following in pursuit of the 25, Ivan Leary. Leary goes to the left side. Watch him under braking, careful, don't snake in the damp conditions. They will have a good exit out of Paddock Hill Bend. And a bit of a slide around as Hutchins is about to lose the place to the 55 of Pollard. Pollard dives at the inside, Hutchins shuts the door firmly in his face and Leary gets the jump on Burge. Great racing here in the Mazda MX-5 Championship. This is only Group B, don't forget. You tend to get some really exciting battles in Group B as drivers continue to assert themselves and show the world that they should actually be in Group A for the last race of the weekend. But how about this? They will battle again for second position, these two. Great racing between Paul Bateman and Clive Powles. Bateman starting from P5 on the grid, Powles from P3, but a cracking start from the 42 puts him into second position, with them all trying to close up on Marcus Bailey in the lead of the race. There goes the 54 out in front. Then it is the 42 of Paul Bateman. Clive Powles is third. Powles is looking for a way to get through on the inside. He's going to come from a long way back to get that move done. He doesn't quite get the move stuck. But fair play to Powles for his gutsy displays at the start. He almost got the lead. Now he's going to dive on the inside of the 42. And Bateman is going to have to leave him some space. There he goes. Asserts himself in the braking zone and Powles is through into second place. Good move. So what can Bateman do in retaliation? And even more importantly, now that he's been held up through Druids, he's going to be compromised. He's going to have a lot of attention all of a sudden from William Hayden, who's there in 4th position behind him. Hayden has suddenly got himself right onto the back bumper. Alan Hawkins is making a break for it to try and jump into the A group as well in 5th position. The top 5, don't forget, go through to the A group. So let's see who will get there. At the moment, Marcus Bailey's got no problems at all in the 54. He will charge out in front and continue to lead the race. But if these four start to work together, then there is going to be a really exciting battle between them as they cannon away down the main straight, up towards Panicle Bend once again. Bailey is your leader, Pole's second. Hayden is closing up on our man Bateman in third, and in fifth position it's Alan Hawkins. The rest of the field is struggling to keep up with them. And if these five stay where they are, they will be the ones that goes through. Hawkins tries his best to get a move there on the inside of the 65, but that wasn't a proper move on Hayden. He was just popping himself onto the right-hand side of Hayden's car, seeing if he could make him miss his braking point. But Hayden is a much more steely nerve driver than that. He's not going to allow a cheap mistake to creep in, even if he is getting hassle from 722 Alan Hawkins. As they go up Surtees, through McLaren, up towards Clark Corner once again. Bateman is hanging on to that third position, tucked in behind Clive Poles. But Marcus Bailey is running away and mugging them all at the moment. Out of the final turn and down the short stretch again. It's the long straight, which isn't really straight, of course. It's a full curve all the way past the pits. And then up and over the crest, you start braking. It catches you out. You have to brake quite early as it dips down and dives and spits you out through Paddock Bend. Plenty of great driving. We've seen a few drivers. You can see the wheels where a few of the cars have gone off at Paddock Bend this weekend, but so far, nothing doing from these guys. Great work from the Mazda MX-5 Championship Brigade once again as Bateman continues to soak up the pressure from William Hayden. Alan Hawkins just keeping a watching brief in fifth position. Down through Graham Hill Bend. Back onto the straight once again. And this time, Hayden looks really determined. Burge is now battling away with Bill Taylor in there, as well as the 80 of Anthony Hutchins. Hutchins trying to find a way to come past Bill Taylor. Can he get the move in there? Well, Taylor's holding fast very, very determinedly at the moment. Moves across to stop Hutchins coming through. Is that Bryn Griffiths in the mix as well, the 31? Yes, it is. And the 34, Callum Greatrex. Still, this group battles away. This time, Bill Taylor is involved in it. Round the outside, is that going to be a clean move from Hutchins? Bill Taylor's going to hold him at fast, but nicely done. Hutchins commits to his line, and Griffiths is now going to have to try and shut the door on Callum Greatrex coming through, but Greatrex is firing up on the inside, surely. No, he's not. So very committed braking from Bryn Griffiths to then go on the left side of Taylor to stop Greatrex coming through on the inside line. Good work there from Bryn Griffiths. Down into the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. Back on the power, no problem at all. This is great work from the 31 of Bryn Griffiths as he hangs on to his position in the middle of this gaggle of cars. Anthony Hutchins trying to cling on to the back of his little queue. Plenty of drivers in the mix. They're all starting to fall back a little bit from Ivan Leary. Bill Taylor there still pressuring Anthony Hutchins, trying to come through and find a way down the main straight once again. Then you've got the 31 in there as well, of course. That is Bryn Griffiths, still getting a lot of attention from Callum Greatrex. Griffiths has got a good run out of clearways, though. He might be able to get a good line through Paddock Bend, sprint up the hill and dive for the inside of Druids, unless Callum Greatrex gets an opportunity to get there first. But Griffiths has definitely got a good run on Taylor. Will he dive for the inside? He's having a look at it. Up on the inside. No, good defence from Taylor, although the door is still marginally open. Taylor's a sportsman. He's not going to slam the nose firmly shut until he knows that Griffiths is no longer alongside him. Now Greatrex is there to the right-hand side of Griffiths. If he can get a good undercut, he will have a chance to sprint past Griffiths. Griffiths, plenty of curve on the exit. That could compromise him on the run to Surtees, but all is well for the moment. Great tussle between these four as they continue up the hill through towards Clark once more. Taylor hustling Hutchins. Greatrex hustling Griffiths as they come off the turn. And down the main straight once again. Great to see this magnificent mix of drivers in Group B still battling away. Trying to keep in touch with Adrian Burge as well in the 7, who in turn is struggling to keep up with Ivan Leary, who's disappearing further up the road. Now here comes Bryn Griffiths to the left side of Taylor. That's not going to work, but if he can set him up nicely for the next corner with a much faster speed off the turn, he will get there. But Greatrex has his own ideas. Greatrex is going to try and make a move up the inside of both of them. It's not going to happen. Taylor's going to keep the door shut. Griffiths will stay to the outside. Up to the inside comes Greatrex, but the roles will be reversed. The left-hander means that Griffiths will be on the inside. Greatrex will be on the outside. Still, they race for the braking point, and Griffiths makes it neutral. Keeps it on the inside line. Now we've got the 55 of Matthew Pollard trying to dive on the inside of Alan Hawkins into the right-hander at Clark, and Ivan Leary has caught them right up, so there is another place up for grabs here. This is for the final position in the last Group A race of the weekend. 5th place, only the top 5 are promoted. The bottom 5 are relegated from Group A to Group B. And this is an opportunity to make sure that you're one of those drivers racing in Group A, as Leary has a go on the inside of Matthew Pollard, doesn't quite make the move stick. They're still trying to keep up with William Hayden, of course, who's there in 4th position, a little way up the road. There he is. But Pollard has got attention from Leary and is trying to make a way past Alan Hawkins. This is a real knife edge of a situation for the 55 of Matthew Pollard. As the laps tick down, he's really got to start making moves to try and get through. Otherwise, he will spend another race in the B final. And up they come through Surtees, up towards McLaren once again. Is this going to be an opportunity? Into the right-hander, through Clark and up towards Clearways. Leary's getting very leery on the back of the 55 of Matthew Pollard. He might get an opportunity out of Clearways. Leary is looking particularly strong. Up through the gears, power down the straight, up towards Paddock Hill Bend. I don't think he'll make the move in turn 1, but he might get a good run through to Druids. If he keeps this up, Pollard is having to protect the inside line to start hassling Alan Hawkins. Not quite going to happen for Leary this time. He's a little bit too far back for my money, as Pollard has another look on the inside of Hawkins, just trying to spook him in the braking zone. Alan Hawkins will not be intimidated though. Leary is still right there in 7th position, trying to give them hassle, but they're all working together to close up on William Hayden, so there might be 2 spots in that top 5 up for grabs very shortly, as Pollard tries again. Hawkins is going to have to defend through Surtees and McLaren. Just stay on the racing line and hope that there's no dive up the inside. Hawkins continues, but he can't afford to defend for too long, because William Hayden's going to disappear into the distance again. Pollard's still there to the inside line. But is there going to be some resistance as they come off the straight? Leary is going to get up alongside the 55 of Matthew Pollard, but will he be able to out-drag him into the braking zone? He doesn't quite get alongside, but he's definitely giving him a little bit of a hassle and a hurry-up. Question is, if Leary were to be able to get past the 55 of Matthew Pollard, would he have a better crack at going for Alan Hawkins? That is what Leary is thinking about, and that is what Hawkins is having to defend from at the moment, as Pollard tries to dive to the inside of Druids. Just about avoids that one. But again, Pollard once more retaliates. Out of Graham Hill Bend, he's going to have a good run here for Hawkins. Back at the front, we have got Clive Poles having caught up Marcus Bailey. So Bailey's lead is not intact at the moment. He is just hanging on to it. But Poles has caught him right up. So that initial early start from Poles was definitely not just a one-shot manoeuvre. He has got genuine pace to close up on Marcus Bailey and pass him for the victory. Can he do it? So Marcus Bailey still leads, but Poles is there in 2nd place, right behind him. Great determination, great gusto from both drivers as they battle for the victory. A little further back is going to be the 3rd place man. Having a look for the outside. Is Poles going to be able to give Bailey the hurry up? He goes very deep into Druids, trying to get a very strong switchback and hope that he'll get enough acceleration for Graham Hill Bend. He won't, so he's going to have to get a clean line through there and set him up towards Surtees and McLaren for a crack at Clark. Here comes Clive Poles, the 18. Hard on the throttle. Great cars, these Mazda MX-5 Mark 1s. Amazing to think that these cars are 3 decades old and are still magnificent racing cars. That's why we've got 48 of them on the grid this weekend across both groups. 24 in this race, of course, out of Clearways. And Clive Poles still giving major challenge to Marcus Bailey as they come over the grid hatchings once again and over the line. Still Marcus Bailey resolutely hangs on to this lead. Poles is still giving him an intense battle as they get to the braking zone for Paddock Hill Bend. Poles slightly more to the left. He's trying to get a switchback on the way up the hill. Can he get that move? He is going for it. Not if you're Marcus Bailey. Bailey shuts the door. Don't even try it, mate. I'm wise to that one. They've got plenty of road to play with, and I will chop your nose across. Great racing from Bailey as he hangs on to it. Poles is doggedly determined to make his way through the left-hander. Plenty of curb on the entry and a little bit on the exit as well. Just lines you up for that straight. They've got traffic to deal with. This is where a lot of the battles in the first race were dealt with, and a lot of them were affected as a result. Poles is just going for up the inside. Never mind traffic. He's there anyway. Poles goes for it and gets the place off Marcus Bailey. Takes the lead. Brilliant racing. And a magnificent bit of determination from Poles as he just slingshots up the inside, takes the place, and that is enough for the moment. But Marcus Bailey is not going to give up. If anything, this is just where the battle gets interesting, because Marcus Bailey is still giving him a massive amount of pressure. They've got slower cars to deal with. If Bailey can keep his head about him, he will start to make progress anyway, as up the inside of Sam Jarvis they both go. Jarvis, ever the sportsman, does not cause them a roadblock. So Poles is in the lead. Marcus Bailey in second place. Bailey still pushing hard on the back of Clive Poles. Both drivers want to get themselves back into the A final. That's where they started earlier on today in the A group, but the bottom 5 from that race are demoted to the B group. Then they have the chance in the second race, of course, to get themselves back into the A group once again. And it looks to me at the moment as though Alan Hawkins is going to be the man from both of these B group races that will get there, looking likely to finish in 5th position if things stay as they are, but there's still quite a bit to go. Clive Poles hanging on in front of Marcus Bailey. He flirts with that white line down the straight. He is absolutely determined that Bailey's not going to get the inside line to come through. Down the inside again. And that is the 64 that they will come up to lap next in front of them. That is Sam Riley, who started towards the back of the field. Let's look back to the third place man. Jarvis is letting him through. That is the 42. Oh, Paul Bateman waved through. And now things have definitely changed. That is the 65. William Hayden with Matthew Pollard on the tail of him. Hawkins has been passed by both Pollard and Ivan Leary. So this is the 4th place battle. Hayden, Pollard and Leary. 3 cars gunning for 2 places in the top 5, and only 2 of them are going to get there. But Ivan Leary will definitely feel like he has an argument to put him in that top 5. He could well have gotten there had he not got involved in the Nick Riley spin that also took Charles Muggleston down the order as well. Riley, Muggleston and Leary were the ones most severely compromised in that run up to Druids for the first time. But Ivan Leary has fought back beautifully so far. But here comes Pollard making the move on the 65 of William Hayden, William Hayden is going to have to defend to the inside, but he's going to run out of time to do that as Matthew Pollard gets through and gets the place. Ivan Leary's going to try and make the same move up to Druids, and he's already well alongside. I think Leary's going to get through in a 5th position, is he? Well defended from William Hayden. Hang on. Oh, run out of road there by Ivan Leary. That's an absolutely perfect tactic. He just squeezes him out, but here comes Hayden again, trying to get at the inside. Leary shuts the door beautifully. Oh, fantastic racing. Both men want to be in the A group for the last race of the day, and they are determined to get there. Ivan Leary slides around into that 5th position move, and now he's shaping up Matthew Pollard just to finish the job. Pollard struggling a little bit by the look of things, as now Ivan Leary has got to... What's going on with his indicators at the back there? I think there's a little bit of rain coming down on the circuit, a little bit of windscreen wipers needed for Matthew Pollard as Leary looks to the outside, trying to get the cut through on the inside line for Paddock Hill Bend. Got a little bit sideways, that's going to hold him up a little bit, but he's definitely setting him up. Ultra defensive driving from Matthew Pollard. Will he drift out wide? Is this going to be enough for Leary to come through? Ivan Leary drops down the hill once again. This is all going beautifully for Ivan Leary. 5th position will see him into the A group, no problem at all. But the 55, Matthew Pollard, is absolutely determined that he's not going to lose another place. He's up to 4th place. He's fought beautifully to get here, having been in the previous B group race, of course. William Hayden looks like he's going to remain in the B group, having been demoted there from the A group in his first race. But Ivan Leary's not done yet. There could still be a couple of chapters left to write on this one. Down the straight, Pollard defends, holding that inside line perfectly at the moment. Leary's going to go left. He's going to give Matthew Pollard an awful lot of pressure. Down in the braking zone, Pollard hangs on to the inside line, no problem at all. And Matthew Pollard is still there in 4th position. William Hayden watching on. It's going to be a late dive from Leary. Don't even think about it, mate. But that has spooked Matthew Pollard a little bit. He's drifted out wide. That's brought William Hayden back into play as both of these drivers tussle for the position. But will William Hayden have a chance to get back past them both? That's going to be the difficult one. Down the straight, into Surtees. Throw it in the left-hander. Not too much curb needed. Up through McLaren. Watch out, boys. Here comes William Hayden, and he's looking particularly hungry again. To get himself back into that top 5, he's going to have to do something pretty magic, but he has the capabilities. We've seen it time and time again. Down the straight, up and over the grid hatchings and over the line once again. 55, Matthew Pollard hangs on to that 4th place. Ivan Leary hangs on to 5th position. Both of them being chased by the man who's on the bubble. William Hayden is set to be the leading B Group driver who won't go through to the A Group. Only the top 5 go through. Now, who's that in front of them? That is the 78, needing to get out of the way. That is Richard Bartlett. Meanwhile, as they lap the 90 of Bruce Robinson, the leaders are coming through. It's Clive Poles and Marcus Bailey. It's still not done yet, though, because Clive Poles is hanging on in front of Marcus Bailey. There's only about 2 car lengths between them, and if Marcus Bailey gets a whiff of opportunity, he will be straight through. Look at that. There's now not even a car length between them as they come off of Druids. Marcus Bailey giving Clive Poles a battle right to the last lap. Can he find his way through in a Graham Hill bend? He's going to get a good exit if he gets it right. And Clive Poles will have to defend resolutely. Look, he's hanging to the inside, and that is a spin, unfortunately, for Elliot Han, who has beached it up at Druids on the last lap. But Clive Poles is going to hang on in front of Marcus Bailey as they power back on the throttle out of the final turn. Bailey might be able to get alongside, but he's going to run out of time to do anything about it. Clive Poles is going to take the win from Bailey. Bailey is alongside, but behind him at the flag. Brilliant racing from both of them. Clive Poles taking the victory in front of Marcus Bailey, with Paul Bateman in 3rd place. Matthew Pollard hangs on for 4th. Adrian Burge came through to 5th in the bitter end, with Alan Hawkins in 6th from Ivan Leary. Anthony Hutchins, Bryn Griffiths and Bill Taylor round up the top 10. From Stiles and Chisnell, Wootton and George Grant. Rumsey, Muggleston fights back to 16th from Robinson, Riley, Richard Bartlett and Sam Jarvis. Fastest lap of the race, Marcus Bailey, and 4 retirements from Han, Greatrex, William Hayden and Nick Riley. What a battle, what a fantastic race.
Clive, it was a risky move, but it paid off in the end.
It did. I never thought I'd be able to get to that point, but slowly but slowly I managed to catch in on Marcus, and I just got to go for it, really.
He didn't let you get away, though.
Sorry?
He didn't let you get away, though, did he?
No, he didn't let me get away. I got away at the time, but he called me back up. So, yeah, really good racing, and well done to Marcus, because we were quite a match, really. So,
a great start to the season. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers. Marcus, at one point I thought it was going to be pole to flag for you, but it was a great move up the inside, and you gave him fair
I gave him fair room, fair racing room. Could have held the line and have been contact, but I've already been to see the clerk once today, and I thought, hey, don't need another trip. So I didn't think the race was over. I thought I could get a move back. I could see the back markers come in and just hope that an opportunity would arise, but fair play to him, good race. He did well to chase me down, because I don't know what sort of lead I had, but it was enough, 3, maybe 4 seconds, so he did a really good job to get back to me. But
what's you in the A Group for tomorrow? What's your plan now?
Survive, just survive. Bring it home.
All right, well, congratulations, go and enjoy it.
Thank you very much, sir.
Cheers.